Hello everyone and welcome to another Destiny 2 video, and this one's about the Means to an End mission, the weekly mission that keeps on getting reset as we creep closer to the Darkness invasion. Now there's not much else happening this week really. There's no developments on the Exodus mission. You remember the one we had with Zavala last week? I thought, oh, we might have some developments here, but we don't. So go to the Prismatic Stratocaster, pick up the beginnings of the mission, and then let's bugger off to Titan. Now what I'd recommend you do first of all is land on Siren's Watch. Don't go to the rig. The event this week is actually in the rig, but before we go there, go to Siren's Watch, pick up the new weekly bounties from Sloan, because you get some nice Umbral engrams from them, you know, the concentrated ones. So pick those up as we're going, and one will require you to make scout rifle kills, so that's quite handy, so get a scout on while we're doing this. Okay, let's nip on over to the rig, and it's a bit of a different layout, the rig, from last week's over in Siren's Watch. You've got one up on this plinth here, and that's all in one flat area, so that's quite nice to do. And the other event takes place down in this lower area here, so there's not so much jumping about and stuff. It's pretty cool. Now, if you can't remember exactly how we get this heroic, just destroy the champions, pick up the blooms, slam them into the moat collectory type thing, and then that'll convert it into the heroic event. 4 blooms, 1 in each round. So once you've done that, this week's big bads are these 2 knights, this massive chap and his little annoying bell-endy little brother. Now when they're far away from each other, their shields are on and you can't do anything. So kind of maneuver them into each other like a kind of dance, and then their shields will disappear, and then you can kick both faces in. And once you eliminate the little git, you can kick in the big git. So that's quite good. So once you've done that, we're on to the next step. Oh, yes. And by the way, there's a chap doing this I saw in the actual event. Look, he's dropping the bloom, and then he's picking it up, and he's switching to a sword, and then dropping the bloom, and I don't... Does anybody know why he's doing that? Is it some kind of glitch I'm not aware of? Is he getting £1 billion by doing that? I haven't got a clue. Sorry. Anyway, back to the mission. 2 runs of the contact event, if you flick them both heroic, will get you this part of the quest done. So next we move on to the Umbral Traces. Now this week we've got to go to either the Menagerie, you can do heroic adventures, or you can do crucible modes, and that's either the survival playlist, you know, the one where you get the glory, or the elimination playlist. So it really depends on what you want to do. But one thing to take note is that disintegrations get you bigger wads of umbrals to drop. So make sure, if you've got it, pack yourself your ruinous effigy to get those disintegrations. But any trace rifle will do, or anything that manages to disintegrate, you know, when they all go wheep and disappear rather than explode. Those are disintegrations, energy weapons, stuff like that. Okay, so I ran all 3 of these to see which one would give us a best chance and the fastest chance of getting our umbrals. So I did 1 run of the Menagerie. If you can see that message flashing up on the bottom, I'm doing it with my Warlock, and I haven't gotten the chalice for him yet because I can't be bothered, so that's quite annoying. But anyway, that's by the by. After 1 run of the Menagerie, I got 48% of the umbrals I need, so basically 2 runs should get you what you need to complete this step. I did try the heroic adventures. I went to try one on Mars. It didn't do me very well at all. I think it kind of got me about 20% odd, maybe 30, something like that. So that's the weakest one really, I think, for getting the Umbral engrams. But of course it does depend on which heroic adventure you do. I also tried the Crucible. Now the drops aren't as frequent, but they come in bigger loads. Ooh, misses. So if once you can make a kill, you get like hordes of Umbral engrams, and by completing a round, whether you win or lose, you get a lot of them as well. So I did each one of these and I completed the quest step, but of course my recommendation, do the Menagerie twice and you're laughing, and you might get some chalice weapons out of it as well, which is very nice. Okay, next order of business, let's go to Io and begin the Means to an End mission, which is of course in the Cradle. A few tips for the Means to an End mission this week. There's quite a few barrier champions in here, so make sure you have your auto rifle with the barrier round mod inserted into it, or maybe your Ariana's Vow, which has it built in. I also bring my Ruinous Effigy because it's great for kicking in the ogres and stuff like that on the way in, and I've also got my Falling Guillotine as well, which you can see me putting to use here to the ogre in the first room. There we go. So in the first room, we kill that ogre, like I said. We got one of Savuthun's eyes to destroy, or at least punch back into the darkness. Here comes Mark Hamill.
The sky is vast but shallow. The deep is boundless. painless but suffocating. There is another way.
Excellent Mark Hamillness. Sorry to talk over you there, Eris. Well, anyway, once you come into this room, you've got 3 crystals to take out. So you've got to basically kill the envoys, and then you can destroy the crystals. Nice little neat thing to note here. You can kill the crystals with a transmutation sphere that drops from your ruinous effigy. So you can pick it up and just stand underneath it like it until it explodes. And the last section of this room, of course, is the 2 ogres. So you can take those 2 out nice and quickly as well. And then we're into the final room with Her Majesty's Eye. So the 3rd and final crystal is just above the doorway. It's very obvious to see as you go in. Now once you make your way in, you're going to have waves again of enemies. Kill the envoys. Each time you kill an envoy, she opens her eye and starts to shoot you with it. So slap her in it when she's, trying to kill you. And don't forget, at the end, a large knight comes out and smashes an axe so hard into your head that your eyeballs come out of your anus. So be very careful and kill him as soon as you can. Once he's dead, you're on to the last part of killing old Savathun's eyes. So once you've got them done, then you're going to make your way back to the cradle to speak to Eris through the big wibbly wobbly portal that just turns up here. Now there's something I want to show you when we get back into the cradle, and that's the difference of the Tree of Silverwings. Because if we look at it here, look, it's kind of got a black orb that is starting to be built, as if the Darkness Pyramid is actually building something on top of the tree, which is really cool. But if I play you this footage from the first week, look how different the tree looks. My goodness, it's beautiful. It's like a lovely little Christmas tree. And the other one is just scary. Anyway, here is the new dialogue from Eris.
This message means contrast in the naturalistic sense, but also implies a judgment. Humanity assigns moral meaning to change, interpreting it as for better or for worse. Do we think of winter as evil because summer flowers must wither and die? We do not.
Tell that to Jon Snow.
And the darkness asks us why.
Intriguing stuff. Building up the icy theme that's coming in the Beyond Light expansion. So don't forget, you're going to get some really cool lore as well, which again I really recommend you read because it starts building up towards the climax. And I find this new lore really good because it's got such gravitas to it as well, and importance. Anyway, once that's all done, forget all this life and death stuff. Look, baubles! Go and cash in your baubles, and don't forget to go to the Prismatic Stratocaster to get your big bauble, which will come at a few points above your standard level. You might have noticed I've been using my Ruinous Effigy quite a bit, and if you want some tips and tricks on how to use it, I've done a great video about that, which you can see here. And also, if you need help finding anything to do with the Eyes of Savathun or the calcium light fragments that are scattered around the solar system, I've got you covered there too. My poor warlock has never recovered after losing the Titan games. I'm sorry, that was a slip. The Guardian games. It may as well have been called the Titan games. We slammed everyone else. Although I'm a warlock now, so I'm quite clearly a turncoat. Anyway, love you lords. See you soon.